Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
BoxingVoice.com.
What broke him down? Was it just a body punching? I was hitting him with body punching. I heard him actually, he was crying in there. You're saying that Gibbs was crying when you hit him? Yes. When did that happen? And perhaps the fourth round on.
BoxingVoice.com.
So that you knew you had him by that time. Absolutely, but I knew he was tough and he was taking those punches.
WBC Productions.
Making women gestures like, oh.
Let's go, champ. It's the champ. It's the champ. With the fake champ.
It's the champs, ladies and gentlemen. TBV podcast. We are back. I'm feeling wonderful. Just getting back from Brooklyn, New York City, where it was a tremendous press conference. But before we get into all that, that's going to be our 10 o'clock Eastern PM time show. So call in later on for that tonight. Right now, we're talking WBC and Badu Jack the Ripper vacating his title after feeling that he definitely unified that division. He's moving up now. He can no longer make this weight. We're going to talk a little bit of boxing. If this is something you're interested in, well, then you know the number 1-425-569-5241. International callers. Call us on Skype. All you got to do is add Nestor Gibbs on Skype. You can check the YouTube channel there for the information on that. We're going to head on over to the Sunshine State. Actually, no, it's not the Sunshine State. What do they call California these days? Matt, man, what's going on over there in California? What do they call in California? I mean, we're the Garden State in New Jersey. You know, MD is the Sunshine State in Florida. What is California known for?
We're the real Sunshine State. Let's be real. Like, you know, MD tries to say, like, oh, I'm from the Sunshine State. No, California's the real Sunshine State.
What do your
Fuck
license
that.
plates say?
California.
Oh, man.
We have the lamest license plates in all of the United States.
That's a fact. I think Garden State, right? It says like Garden State, New Jersey.
Yeah, it does. But we don't have that. We just have like California and then just like the license plate number, and that's it. It's really lame.
Talk to me, brother. How has been your day so far? I know that you're obviously on another coast, so it's a little early for you. I mean, it's only 4 in the evening. You know, some of you guys just getting off of work, but how are things over? How's the weather? You talking about the real Sunshine State? How's it doing over there? Is this
we finally got some sun because we had a huge storm front come in the entire state. We had huge flooding, like over like 3 to 5 feet of snow in like most places of like Northern California, like the mountains and stuff like that. So we had a ton of weather. So now it's sunny. Now it's like every other day in California. It's 75 degrees and sunny. So it's beautiful. I was outside in my backyard just chilling, reading a book earlier.
Well, let's do it, man. I mean, the facts are this, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a rumor show, though this is the rumor mill where we report news, rumors, and headlines, and this is definitely a headline. This is straight off the desk of the WBC. Mauricio Suleiman emailed me and let me know that the WBC has received official notification from WBC super middleweight champion Badu Jack, who decided to move up in weight and compete in the light heavyweight division. Now, I just want to say I really wish that the WBC would have treated Badu Jack possibly the way that the WBO has been treating Canelo Alvarez by making him, ranked high enough in the weight division above so that Badu could have, mixed it up with some sexy names right away. But I guess the question to ask my co-host and the listeners is, should Badu go straight for the Kovalevs, Adonis Stevensons, and Andre Wards of the division, or should he acclimate himself to the weight the way that real fighters do, the way that Floyd didn't do? Because actually Floyd went to 54 and fought De La Hoya without any in between. But Matt, what are you thinking about this? Super middleweight championship of the world is being declared as a vacant title. What exactly does this mean for you and the rest of the super middleweight division?
Well, I think like most people, we kind of connected the dots. Obviously, one with Badu Jack's own words saying, "I'm moving up. I'm not staying at 168." And once a fighter says, "I can't make the weight. I'm moving up," I highly doubt he's actually going to stay at that weight class. That rarely happens. I can't remember an occasion when that did happen. But I do think that the title, the WBC title at the super middleweight division, obviously has a fight pretty much already lined up. We know that Callum Smith was the mandatory for that belt, and so I assume that he's going to fight the next guy under him, which I believe was Anthony Durrell. And we have the rankings up. I sent them to you. I don't have them up myself, but so I believe that we're going to get Anthony Durrell versus Callum Smith, either maybe in London. I don't know if Anthony Durrell goes there, but I would assume so, since I think Callum Smith is more the ace side due just to the money being in the UK. So I think we're going to get a vacant world title bout in London with Callum Smith and Anthony Durrell for the super middleweight belt. Now with with Badu Jack moving up, I think he should take maybe like a lower end of the top 10 guy, maybe like a Nathan Cleverly sort of guy, somebody that is a big light heavyweight that will really test him in terms of size, but is not going to have the skill or the power to really hurt him at that weight class. You have to get him acclimated to that division. I think that division has two heavy hitters at the top with Sergey Kovalev and Adonis Stevenson, and to rush into those bouts, I think, is foolhardy.
Now, Badu Jack has a draw, which everyone feels he deserved the win versus Lucian Bute. Lucian Bute is in a eliminator with the #1 Eldelier Alvarez from Colombia, who holds the silver WBC championship at 175 pounds. The champion being Adonis Stevens. Badu Jack moves up. Lucian Bute wins that fight. I don't know if he can. Alvarez is no joke. Then Badu has a little storyline, maybe a rematch and a passageway to the champion who is in his, PBC realm. As for WBC super middleweight rankings and what will happen with the vacated title, I like your theory. Sounds good. I'm pretty sure Al is not going to win that purse bid versus Callum Smith. Even though this is the WBC, Matthew, you just never know. See, when it's the IBF, it's different because the B side only gets 25%. We don't know exactly. I think Callum Smith in this particular fight would receive 60-40, 62 Callum Smith.
We don't know.
I know, Kanye. I'm not sure either, but I think that is correct. That being said, Anthony Durrell just got out of a very tune-up-ishy fight. To jump straight in there for a eliminator, the fans probably are not going to like it, but overlooking the super middleweight division and its rankings, I mean, you got guys like Zach Dunn. He's been making, a bit of noise. Julio Cesar Chavez, who is now tied up with Canelo Alvarez for Cinco de Mayo weekend.
And very quickly, I know we don't like obviously credit the IBO title, but Zach Dunn is the IBO champion right now, I believe.
Chris Eubank Jr., who is obviously going to be tied up with Reynold Quinlan, and you can hear our
was the IBO champion. My bad.
What?
Zach Dunn was the IBO champion. My bad. That's right. He vacated.
You can hear our discussion on Chris Eubank Jr. and Reginald Quinlan, as well as Sky Sports toe-to-toe host Spencer Farron. We had him on that episode to give us some UK insight. But Arthur Abraham, Rogelio Medina, Martin Murray, Patrick Nielsen.
George Groves is fighting Fedor Chudanov, I believe, right?
I believe. Jesse Hart, who is with Top Rank. David Benavidez, the brother of Jose Benavidez. Now, this kid is number 14, and he's been making some noise. But Ronald Graville. So if Badu Jack jumps in there, that 168-pound division, it's really open for the taking. Maybe Callum Smith can do something with that title. I'm pretty sure if he beats Anthony Durrell, it's going to be he and James DeGale in a hometown unification, which would be huge for them. That would be up to the dog Durrell to stop that. But Andre is also ranked right under in the number 4 division. So I mean the number 4 spot. So let's see what ends up playing out in the super middleweight and in the 175-pound division with this news. Adonis Stevenson has been making headlines. He's been calling out Andre Ward and, Kovalev forever, but would it be sexy to you for Badu Jack to go straight at Adonis Stevenson? I mean, because think about the names. It's not like there is a huge discrepancy, right? You got Alexander Goldov. You have obviously Kovalev, who's not going to fight because he's waiting on Ward's decision. Elderly Alvarez and Lucian Bute, a comparable opponent that Badu Jack has already faced. He's tied up. Joe Smith, they're saying he's going to fight in his hometown of Nassau Coliseum over there, is recently renovated, and it may be Adonis, right? It may be Adonis. So we don't know. Is the name Badu Jack, coming off of what he did, sexier for Adonis, or does Adonis go straight into the Joe Smith fight and wait for Badu Jack to heal up? But I mean, there's names like Fonfara and Shabaransky, who we just seen lose to Sullivan Barrera, Shawnee Monahan, Marcus Brown, who's tied up with Thomas Williams, Robert Stieglitz, who's been around there forever, has a couple of, I think, a trilogy with Germans, Arthur Abraham. Look, Thomas Williams is ranked number 12 in the WBC, and Eric Skongolold, he's been there from Sweden.
He's awesome. He's awesome. Oh,
I haven't really been able to see him, but I've heard him a lot,
He's good. He's a southpaw, too, and he's like 26 years old, undefeated. He's the best thing to come out of Sweden in a long, long time.
Now, I know that Barrera we're waiting on Barrera to say yes to an offer from Artur Beterbiev. Remember, you heard it here first, all right? Because I know a lot of these people, they don't know anything about this, but I'm Dominican. It's right there on the border with Haiti. Haiti, they speak a little French and all that. Boom. I already know. They sent an offer to Sullivan Barrera. He needs to respond to see if he wants to have an eliminator with Artur Beterbiev of Russia, who's ranked number 4. Barrera is number 15. Now, they have gone down the line asking people who, if they want to fight Beterbiev. People have been passing out. So let's see who else. And one of those people, one of those persons is Sergey Kovalev. Remember, I told you that. Sergey Kovalev said no. He doesn't want to fight Artur Beterbiev. He just said it maybe a week ago.
The full list of people that said no to that bout is Sergey Kovalev, Eric Skoglund, Sean Monahan, Enrique Koling, and I believe Alexander Gorgic all refused that invitation.
Eric Skoglund that this guy said from Sweden was all good. He ain't all good enough to fight the Beterbiev, the better beast of that.
Well, Beterbiev is at a higher level now. I have to admit that.
Hey, man, you in the rankings. Come get some. Listen, let's open up these phone lines. We're going to go out to these international callers. Talk to me. Boxing Evolution, WBC super middleweight former champion Badu Jack vacates his title. And I might say respectfully, okay? He tried to unify. Judges did what they did. He can't make the weight. He's moving up. I don't want to hear anybody saying anything about it. He's ducking a rematch and nothing like that. I mean, even though this is your opinion, you can voice it, but
let's be positive, you always say that. Let's be positive.
Evolution, talk to us.
What's going on? I was thinking, I wasn't gonna say that. What I was gonna say is that I think that Jack did the right thing. If you can't make the weight, you can't make the weight. Like, there's no point killing yourself if you can't make it. Forget about it. Like, he did the right thing. I don't know. I think Kelbrook needs to maybe take a leaf out of his book, and like, if he can't make the weight, just to say, I can't, because I saw something about his team saying that they want him to move up, and he's still not committing to moving up. What was I gonna say? Yeah, what happened to what's his face? George Groves. Like, I thought he wasn't name at all.
He's fighting a Fedor Sidorov.
No. Is what's it? I mean, like, in the rankings wise, mate. In the rankings wise, what sanctioning body is he in? Is he not in the WBC sanctioning body at all?
Is he super middleweight or 175 now?
Super middleweight.
He's super middleweight, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's not in the BC rankings unless
he's not in the BC. Okay.
Unless he's under the 15. I don't know.
which is crazy because I remember you fought Badu Jack, right?
Yeah, he fell from graces. I mean, when's the last time he won?
He just won like a couple months ago, I think.
Yeah.
Chudinov is Dmitry Chudinov from Russia, not Fedor.
Yeah, okay. No, I was just confused. I thought that because maybe I thought that Groves could have gone for that title, and then the girl and Groves over here is like a huge fight. That's massive over here. Because they've got like a rivalry going. So I thought that would have been a play that Groves could have done. But if he's not in the rankings, then that blows my theory out the water. But yeah, all I wanted to say really was that I think that Jack did the right move. If you can't make the weight, he said it straight after the fight anyway, he can't make it. So I think he did the right move. So yeah, that's what I was going to say. Nothing negative for me, boys. All positive.
All good, Evolution. Remember, that was just me generalizing to all the callers. It wasn't just directed at you. Matt, check your text. That is our last and newest boomerang. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sorry to tell you that there is no longer any more, or there are no longer any more spots left on the boomerang. So you missed it, but you can always become a ringer. Head on over to our Patreon page and support us on Patreon for some exclusive, and you'll soon find out why those slots are filling up as fast as they are. And boy, do I have some extras for you from today's press conference. Listen, let everybody go first. Let them upload. Enrique's in the lab right now, okay, ladies and gentlemen? If you've seen our Badu Jack and James DeGale, media workout, kind of 24/7 all access video, well, then you do not want to miss this one. Live from the Barclays Center, we actually take you into the Barclays Center. This is going to be a magnificent fight. Anyway, listen, be back at 10 p.m. Eastern time, okay? And for you West Coast guys, that's 7 p.m. West Coast. We're going to be talking some Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman. And actually, I got to start saying Keith Thurman versus Danny Garcia, because Keith is the A side, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll be talking about that because we will be reviewing the press conference at 10 p.m. Eastern time. So tell a friend to tell a friend. We're opening up these phone lines. Obviously, we have to.
These calls are brought to you by our sponsor, El Camino Electrical Services, who have over 15 years of commercial electrical experience, servicing the whole Silicon Valley and the entire San Francisco Peninsula. Visit us at our website, elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
All right, we're going out to Donald on his trap phone. Holler at us. Hit that thumbs up button if you're watching this on YouTube. You know you love it. Subscribe to the channel because you don't want to miss that notification. 10 p.m. Eastern time. We got another show. Donald, talk to me.
What's up, Ness? Man, you know what? I just say that Badu Jack moving up. The thing with Badu Jack is he's not a puncher. He doesn't really punch a lot. He doesn't have a lot of punching power. He doesn't knock out a lot of his opponents. And to move up in the light heavyweight division, a lot of the people in the light heavyweight division are punchers. I don't see him beating Adonis Stevenson. I doubt that he could beat Ward if he got a fight with Ward. I doubt that he could beat Kovalev. I'm thinking that he should go for Elder Alvarez because I think that would be a good matchup. And I think Badu Jack could probably beat Elder Alvarez, but I don't see him beating Adonis Stevenson. And I can see how everybody's scared to fight Arthur Beterbiev because he's a hell of a fucking puncher. I see Arthur Beterbiev getting his shot at Adonis Stevenson and beating Adonis Stevenson. I see him as the guy who beats Adonis Stevenson. I mean, maybe Joe Smith Jr. will be good for Badu Jack, but at light heavyweight, I see Badu Jack carrying no punching power up with him, and it's going to be a tough division for him. He needs to start below the rankings. Maybe if he can get Sullivan Barrera, that'd be good for him, but I say if Sullivan Barrera say no to the Arthur Beterbiev fight, then I say that they go for him. That's somewhere to start. But amongst the top 10,
Check out the boxing.
It's going to be tough for Badu Jack.
Total accident, Donald. Total accident. Total accident. I do apologize, man.
You don't think Sullivan Barrera's in the top 10?
Well, he's 15 on the WBC.
True.
Who is?
Barrera.
Barrera's on the WBC. He's 15. But I mean, in the division, he's obviously
That's what I
top
said,
10,
yeah.
especially with the win over Shabaransky. When you think of that division, there's no
Top
really
10.
sexy names that stick out except for Kovalev, Ward, Adonis. Now with Badu, you got to mention him. I still like to mention Thomas Williams, Marcus Brown. We got to see what those two do. But
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like
a good
that's
idea. Yeah, Thomas Williams is a good one.
it's not like that's a really, really deep division. Donald, let me get to some other callers. We will be back at 10 o'clock. Make sure you come around, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend. TBV is going to be talking Keith Thurman versus Danny Garcia press conference review. Talk to me, Matt.
I disagree. I think it's a deep division. I think relative to the super middleweight division, I think light heaveight's a much
What's
deeper
the
division.
sexiest matchup there?
It's not sexy, but there's good talent. Regardless of big. We're not talking about money, right? We're talking about the talent in the division.
I'm not
The
saying,
top
I'm not saying
15
money either. I'm saying the sexiest matchup.
for Badu Jack, or just like
anybody.
I
You're saying
think
that's a deep
guys like
division.
Sullivan Barrera is a sexy matchup now. The way he put out Shabransky.
for Jack.
Oh, I think that would be a great matchup.
Okay. But what I'm saying, what is the sexiest matchup at 175? Not for Badu Jack in general. Ward versus Jack. Ward versus Barrera. Whoever.
Ward is the sexiest just because of the money, but I think in terms of style wise, I think everyone's trying to go after Adonis Stevenson.
Good. Like versus who do you say, damn, that's a great fight? I don't think you could put his name in a sentence with any of these fighters, and anyone is gonna get as excited or more than they already were for the Kovalev fight. Name a bigger fight in that division. There isn't. I don't see anything. There is no Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia in that division sexy. It isn't. Name it.
You don't think like if Elliot Alvarez goes out there and sparks? Hold on. You don't think if he goes out there and sparks Lucian Boutte? You don't think if he goes out there and sparks Lucian Boutte and he sparks Adonis Stevenson, he does not become a sexy name?
I don't even know what you said because fucking McGregor was asking you a question. Okay, buddy?
You don't think if Alvarez goes out there, finishes Boutte, becomes the mandatory to Stevenson, goes out there and finishes Stevenson, he becomes a sexy name?
Yo, if Alvarez, listen, if Alvarez knocks out Boutte, you know how many people are going to call in Sunday and say that Boutte was washed? That he was old?
Fuck that. Come on. He ain't a Bernard Hopkins. Come on.
They're going to say he was washed, he was old.
Yeah, they are going to say that, but we're not going to say that. Come on.
No longer on steroids. Last time he fought Jack, he looked that good because he popped dirty. Man, come on. Joey, Indiana, WBC. Former, unfortunately, man. TBV, March 3rd, man. We got an appreciation now. You never know what you might win, Joe. You better come make it out. This fight is getting exciting. You don't want to miss that. I'm going to talk about it at 10, but I know you heard Angel, just snippets of it. Oh my God, it got crazy.
Hey, Ness, I'm formerly now known as Team Thurman from Indiana. No more Joe, man. I'm Team Thurman from Indiana. Listen, I can't wait for that show. We'll get back to that later. But I want Badu Jack to go straight for Andre Ward. I know you heard Floyd last week on the Facebook Live on ESPN. He called out, he came out and trashed Virgil Hunter, and he said that he believes Badu Jack can move up and beat Ward. Reason why I say that, with Badu's luck, man, if he goes and fights one of these other guys in the top 10, like let's say that 7 through 10 guy, what happens if the same shit happens, or he gets another bad draw, or a loss? It's time now to at least try to cash out. And Andre Ward is going to look at this he's going to look at him as an easy tune-up fight. So I would hope for Badu Jack to at least get one of them top 3-4 opponents, man. I mean, the time's now to start cashing out, because the way his history shows, man, he's been getting some bad decisions. I don't want to say bad decisions, but he's just getting drawn up and stuff's not falling at his point. So I think on Mayweather's part, they're going to be thinking, we got to at least get this guy paid and get him his biggest fights, man. So that's why I hope about it. And I think he's ready, man. I mean, and I'm sorry, man. Darrell, I'd rather watch paint dry instead of watching Darrell. And if he fights Darrell, he's going to get rid of that bum, man. So let's keep it. Let's go for the big dogs and go for Ward. That's my card, man. I'm fired up. I'm ready for later, man. I'm taking out these braids now because I'm wearing the ponytail now. I told you, man.
Hey, Joey, man, I can't wait. I'm telling you, man, I hope that God blesses you and me both, because I need to see you in New York City, man. When we get to talking about that fight, I don't think anyone's going to want to miss it, man. Those tickets are selling like hotcakes. Shout out to Muhammad. I know you're going to hear this on the playback, future, present, past. Shout out to Blackface. Muhammad, we got your ticket. You're officially sitting next to the casual fan live at this fight, March 4th from Brooklyn Barclays Center. Patreon family only. That's how we doing it. Casual bought your ticket, you going. Larry from San Francisco, talk to us. Talking Badu Jack vacating at WBC.
Big ups to the boxing voice. Hey, Joey is one of my favorite callers and people on the show, but he was in trip mode squad with that last statement right there. Badu Jack is going to move up to 175 and do nothing. First of all, he cannot touch any of the top 3 Titans there. Andre Ward, Sergey Kovalev are 2 top 10 pound-for-pound fighters, and Adonis Stevenson is just outside that. I like Badu Jack. He's a really good fighter, but he's messing with Titans up there. No chance. Secondly, I'm shocked that he's passing up that rematch with DeGale. And I believe it when he says he can't make the weight because he's passing up 2 to 3 times his largest payday ever with the rematch with DeGale over in the UK. So I believe him when he says he can't make the weight. But the main reason I believe him is, like I said on fight night, he was about 190 pounds in the ring that night. If he can't even try to make triple his biggest payday of all time, you know he was riding heavy in that ring that night, which is part of the reason why he walked through everything DeGale threw at him. Not taking anything away, great fighter with a lot of heart, but he should slow down on that 175. The killers live up there. Love y'all. I'm out.
Wait, Larry, I know you like to leave like that, and that's your official sign-off, but what is the sexiest fight in that division and for Jack? So that's 2 separate fights. Now, if they both include Jack, then that's only one you got to give me. But what is the sexiest fight for a fight fan in that division, and what is Jack's biggest fight to you? Not just big because it represents something big, though, like the way we feel about Thurman and Garcia.
Are you not counting Kovalev Stevenson?
I mean, you can count them if you want. If to you they sound like a sexy matchup, I don't know. I mean, okay, Kovalev Stevenson was a pay-per-view. Is Jack versus any of those guys? I mean, Kovalev Ward was a pay-per-view. Is Jack versus any of those guys pay-per-view worthy?
No, absolutely not. The only sexy matchups at 175 involve Sergey Kovalev, and it's him and Stevenson. They already did the one with Ward, and they do a rematch there. Other than that, it don't get sexy up there, in my opinion. Badu Jack is just not a sexy fight kind of fighter, and certainly not up there at 175. So I'll go Stevenson, Kovalev. I don't see Jack in a sexy fight. In good fights with the second tier 175, but not against those top 3. There's no way.
Well, Larry, you know we love you around here. I got my prayers out for you too, man. We still need to meet you. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, head on over to theboxingvoice.com/reunion so you can see how we get down. You got to check out how our listeners win awards, how the fighters come out and just party and hang out with us. You're going to see Matt, the editor, there. You'll see Steven, the super producer, Casual, Deontay Wilder, Peter Quill, and Caleb Plant. The list goes on and on. Actually, I was talking to DSG in the camp today, man. We're trying to get them, solidified for March 3rd. Definitely Matt from Team DSG, who's always in the corner, one of the cornermen, he's definitely going to be back. Carlos Grundy already RSVP'd. So many of you already RSVP'd. Listen, if you haven't, head on over to theboxingvoice.com/reunion. And speaking of things that are good for you, do not forget to head on over to your Android or your iPhone market and get that new Shannon Briggs game. Clash of Champs, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely free. Download it. Then, whenever you're on the bus or you got a free time, you can have a boxing game to play with. I mean, there's not that many of them out there. Now, the last thing I'm going to tell you to do is hit that thumbs up button. You don't want to be a loser. You want to be a winner. Winners, hit the thumbs up button and share the show. We're going out to talk to me.
Fellas, right quick, let me get my crow from Sunday. You got it on deck. Let me get my crow. I'm happily taking crow for Devontae Davis. All right. Sexy fights at 175, and then I'll go sexy fights for Jack. 175, a sexy fight is Arthur Beterbiev versus either Ward or Kovalev or Stevenson. Another sexy fight at 175 is Ward versus Stevenson or for Badu Jack, a sexy fight is either him versus Chilemba or Fonfara. He take either one of those fights at 175, and then perhaps a fight with Ward if he wants to, quote unquote, cash out. That's good. Or he take a fight with either Chilemba or Fonfara and then move on to either Stevenson or Kovalev. But it's a little bit of room at 175. It ain't the greatest variety, but it's a couple fights where they can still, see who's really the top dog at that division. Because it's still not really certain. Even though Ward pulled that out, I still think, people got their opinion. So I think that's a way to sort out 175 like that. And as far as Jack vacating the titles, I guess as Joey, was just saying, if it's hard for him to make that weight, then cool, go to 175. But, if he can't get through Chilemba or Fonfara, and those are fair fights at 175. If he can't get through that, then maybe he shouldn't be there. And I happen to think Fonfara might put him down just because he's, a lot bigger than him, and he put Stevenson down, knocked him down. So that's what I got to say on that, man. I can't wait till that 10 o'clock show too.
Man, well, you already know, man. You know where to be at. We'll be here in about a couple of more hours, 10 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Pacific. We're going to Brooklyn. Too tough. Talk to me, brother. Badu Jack vacates that title. Moving on up to 175.
Yeah, listen, does he have to fight a WBC 175 dude? Because, if he won a Ward fight, he could, fight Cleverly, because Cleverly got some secondary mandatory position, and if he do that, his next fight could be against Ward if they want to make it. The sexy fight at 175, everybody already said it: Adonis, Kovalev, Adonis, Ward, Kovalev, and the best fight for Jack, like I said, if he go after Cleverly, he'll grab one of them secondary titles, or Joe Smith. Joe Smith got one of them secondary titles too, and then he could put him in position to fight Adonis or Ward on the next fight after that, which sounds good. But 168, Callum's gonna fight which Darrell, Anthony or Andre?
Anthony
is first in line. Andre is 2 slots under him.
Okay. All right. Callum should win that fight. They be hyping him up. I don't think I've seen a whole fight of his. I've seen clips of him, but they've been hyping him up like he's a real deal out there. So that'll be a good match if Miguel fights Callum. If he wins, that'll be a good UK fight. Groves, I think, is trying to get the WBA title, so that'll be a good one to Miguel defend his loss to Groves. Right? He lost to Groves, right?
Who, DeGale? Yes, early in his career, when they were 11 and 13 and 0.
I mean, it kind of opens up that UK market in 168, being that Badu Jack left it. There's going to be nothing but UK dudes fighting for them titles, because Chris Eubank is somehow going to be in the mix too. Anyway, that's my call. Hit some thumbs up, people. I'm going to hit y'all on that 10 o'clock show, because, yes, I did see that little clips of the press conference at the thing with Angel and Keith. Anyway,
all right.
I'm going to holler later.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for calling in. Listen, our press conference is coming up. We got the whole full press conference, but we got to spin. We did it the way we did it a couple of days ago. If you want the real, stay tuned. Casual's in the lab. That's why we pushed that show back till 10 o'clock, because we're going to give him time to release that and give you the goodies. Listen, Patreon, don't get mad. We even got better fireworks for you guys. So it's coming. It's all coming. We're doing our part. And don't forget, January 30th, we leave to see the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. So if you want your questions asked to Deontay Wilder, head on over to our Patreon post on Deontay Wilder. Drop your question in there and have it personally responded to by the WBC champion of the world while we're in Alabama covering his fight camp. We're going to 513. You're live on the Boxing Voice. Talk to me. Who's this?
It's Elohim James, man. Why you ain't got me in the system?
Yo, man. Listen, I'm gonna do you a favor and shoot the producer, because you ain't got your own gun.
He's not on the list. He's not on the list. I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry.
How is he not on the list?
Dude, he's not on the list. I don't know how, but he's not on the list.
I got shares in the Patreon game. I mean,
I know,
good, man. I'm so love to the
listen.
PBV. You know what it is.
Listen, I could only drive the car, right? I'm supposed to have a co-pilot right here. I'm blaming. I'm pointing the finger
Hey,
right
I
here.
didn't make the list. I did not make the list. Don't shoot
supposed to
the
update
messenger.
You're supposed to update it.
Hey, I'm updating it right now. He's on the list for good now. You're good, caller.
Let him live. We're going to let you live right now, man.
Elohim.
Let me go ahead and get off, man.
Elohim.
Yeah.
It sound like deja vu. I could have sworn the last time you called in, he was like, "Oh, it's updated now. It's updated now."
Exactly. But yo, Ness, you still coming to Cincinnati, right? For the Broner fight.
That is looking like the plan, even though he treated me like shit last week. I told him I'm still going up there.
He did.
Yeah, he did. I told him I'm still going up there, though. I told him I'm still coming. He said to come, so hopefully he treats me differently.
Yeah, well, that's where I'm at, man. So I'm definitely going to be in the building. So you know I got to get with you, bruh. It's going down.
Of course. We're going to give that Patreon some behind the scenes and me and Elohim James hanging out in the Big Natty.
That's what I'm talking about. Yo, so Dig, the fight, right? Where your boy, giving up the belt. Dig this, man. You know, Mayweather done set it up to where he got a little, promotion in the game where he was, dogging my man Andre Ward, coach. You know what I'm saying? And so now, with him, Badu moving up, Andre Ward might look at it like, hey, this might be a time we can shut Floyd up. You know what I'm saying? Juice it up a little bit, make somebody look like the villain out here. And that ended up being a nice little fight, man. I think that's a great move for Badu to moving up, man. He could try to step in there with Andre, and Andre might just look good polishing them off, but it'll be one up on Mayweather for talking all that trash on him. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. Yo, let's get it popping. Patreon. This is TBV in the building. Elohim Jeans, we out here, man. Let's go.
Let's go. Cincinnati, we coming. We going now from Cincinnati to Rod, all the way in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. Rod, you better be calling back when we go to the 10 o'clock show. And we're talking at Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman. Or should I say Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia? He's not the A-side. That's what's wrong with you. Rod, man, talk to us.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm going to call in. But yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like Jack's got the deck stacked against him. I mean, he can't. I don't see him lasting 12 rounds with any of the top three guys, Ward, Kovalev, or Stevenson. And I mean, you can even give him a prospect or whatever you want to call him, someone like Sullivan Barrera, or even Joe Smith. Man, I feel like you're gonna have a tough time just based on size. I mean, he's big for 168, but he doesn't look anything special at a 175 pounds. He actually looks small. So I don't know. I think he just not being disciplined, staying in the 168. I think it's a bad move.
All right, Rob. Well, thanks for calling in, brother. Make sure you call back in for that DSG show. We got a few more callers to get to. And I'm going to just give you a little treat. We got a little special caller coming up. Yeah, stick around for that. Scorsese, talk to me.
Yo, I don't agree with nobody that calling here yet except Joey, bro. Joey, the only one that got some sense. Why is you going to play around in the rankings when you getting robbed over and over again? They can't score your fights because you're too precise with your punches. You're too short with your shots or something. I don't know what's going on. You can go for gold and understand the champion you trying to fight. He 40 years old, bro. He might just slip that night. And everybody's saying, oh, he ain't good enough to do it. That means you're going to have to call him great when he do it. What y'all think they went to Steven Espinoza and say, hey, you want to be the president of Showtime or you want to be the president of third grade soccer league? He said, yeah, third grade soccer league, then the fourth grade. Then if I do good with the fifth grade, I go to Showtime. Nah, you take your shot. If you lose it, then you can go back down and work your shit up. Why are you going to play in rankings for us? You crazy? This man, look, Floyd said him and Adonis first, Andre Ward next, if they can do it. Adonis can have a fight of a year type resume. Jack won't be able to do it because they stiffed him with that damn draw. but I would still give it to him if he beat Adonis. He would be the fight of the year. Nobody else gonna be in competition beating the DeGale and Adonis. Man, that man need to shoot his shot, load the gun, shoot the shot, let Adonis fight Joe Smith Jr., whoever next like that. Shoot the shot, see if you can land it. Man, if you lose, then we can talk Barrera. Everybody else that's trying to work back to get to a title. These people gladiators. A lot of y'all must not know nothing about trying to be great out here, because y'all want to work. Nah, fuck that. You get the shot, you go. He already worked that 68. I don't hear nobody telling Crawford to fight Pacquiao Manny instead of fighting Manny Pacquiao his first 47 fight. What y'all talking about? I'm out, man.
Hey, man, you right about that, but history tells us something else, and I'll tell you what it tells us. It tells us Badu Jack has faced Porky Medina. It tells us that no, was that James DeGale that faced Porky Medina? No, they both did, right? And Derek Edwards, right? Like,
I think Badu Jack
those names are still on these guys' resume because those type of fights happen in between bigger fights. Like, you need to get acclimated. I understand you know, you want to see him be great and jump straight into a super fight, but sometimes it don't happen like that because he fought James DeGale, Lucian Boutte, George Groves. You wouldn't say George Groves was a super fight or on his particular level per se. We didn't expect it to be a split decision, you know. Boutte either. It's a guy that's a little worn in the tooth. We seen Frotch a long time ago run through him. We seen Lombardo Andrade run through him, you know. So Badu Jack has taken guys like Francisco Sierra and Jason Escalera in between. Now, on his last maybe 4 or 5, they all have been notable names. He's been on a run, but 2 of the 4 have been draws. 2 of the 4 have been majority and split decisions. So we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I got everybody excited. It was like, yo, man, I thought it was the doctor. Yeah, we got to warm it up.
Very quickly, Ness, to go along what Scorsese said about Mayweather talking about Adonis Stevenson versus Badu Jack. He said in the post-fight press conference, I believe, I have the quote right here. He said, "We're looking to a Badu Jack versus Adonis Stevenson fight. I know Canelo has got the date in May. Around June, the beginning or the end, we look forward to the end of June for Jack versus Stevenson." And that's what they're going to look for. I don't know if they're going to get it, but I don't know why everyone's hating on Badu Jack. I think he could beat Adonis Stevenson. I think he could beat Andre Ward. The only one I think he really has almost 0 chance of beating is a Sergey Kovalev. Style-wise, at least.
Well, we shall see, man. We're talking Badu Jack vacating that WBC, moving on up to 175 pounds.
Don't even respect your ass. That's why it's time for the doctor to check your ass, nigga.
Yo, Fight Doctor in the house on Rick James status as always. What's going on, gentlemen?
How are you, sir? What are your thoughts?
Well, listen, if the man can't, well, all right, I have several thoughts. Okay, first of all, I want to know, where is BoxingMD? In fact, don't even answer that question. I already know where the man is. The man is getting sued for malpractice, probably because he doesn't know shit about boxing. Now, having said that, I have a couple of thoughts about Badu Jack moving up. I'm not quite sure who he wants to target at 175 because, listen, DeGale was giving him problems out of that southpaw stance, okay? And if he's talking about going up to fight Adonis Stevenson at 175 pounds, well, listen, I'll tell you what, I think it's reasonable to believe that Adonis Stevenson is pound for pound the hardest puncher in boxing. And, you know, I saw DeGale land a couple of clean, straight right hands out of that southpaw stance on DeGale. So, you know, if they're not talking about tightening up his defense, and if the target is Adonis Stevenson, and I think the politics of boxing kind of sort of dictate that that's the direction that they would go, then, you know, I see a brutal stoppage at the hands of Adonis Stevenson in Badu Jack's immediate future, or not too distant future.
Fight Doctor, very quickly, don't you think that James DeGale landed a lot of those lefts because of his footwork and offsetting the angles. And I don't think Adonis Stevenson has that level of footwork.
Well, listen, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I think the movement, the angles, the switch hitting, all those things gave him some problems. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it's not that he just hit him with one or two clean left hands. I'm sorry, with one or two clean right hands. I'm sorry, left hands. But I saw him, you know, he was from the southpaw stance. He was having some success, more so than I thought he should have. Listen, I just don't think that's a good fight for James DeGale. I'm sorry, for Badu Jack. You know, I mean, it probably makes a lot of money in Canada, you know, but yeah, I would probably not that he would beat Andre Ward. I don't think he would beat Ward, but I think he at least goes the distance with Ward, makes it interesting. But you know, I just think that Adonis Stevenson probably stops him. You know, if he doesn't get old overnight, you know, because Stevenson is what, 38, 39?
Plus he's Cuban, so you don't really know.
Well, but he's long in the tooth. So I mean, unless the man gets old overnight, you know, I think he has enough boxing IQ.
Oh, you always get caught with your words in your mouth, man. And you ran out of boomerang slots. Speaking of boomerangs, no more available. You can get your ringer on, ladies and gentlemen. Head on over to the Patreon and check it out, man. A lot of awards. We're going to Joshua from New Orleans. We're about to put this thing on drive-by. We got to come back. I got to eat. There's a lot that's going down today. We just got back from Brooklyn, New York, covering that Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman press conference live for you. We got tons of stuff. Enrique's in the lab, like I've been saying. It's going to be coming before that 10 o'clock show. Then we got tons of behind-the-scenes footage for all our Patreons. We even got a Danny Swift Garcia signed autographed glove, one-on-one with Angel Garcia, one-on-one with Keith Thurman coming out the Bat Tunnel in the Barclays. It got crazy, I'm telling you. The press conference was amazing. You guys do not want to miss that. Josh in New Orleans, talk to me.
Drive-by.
Go to the next Josh.
Joshua.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got you.
All right. I was called in a few shows, and I don't know what y'all recorded me on, but I won all my I picked all my selections correctly because J. Will wasn't the only one that called that a draw. That fight between Badu Jack and James DeGale.
Yeah, you. All right. Well, we got the list though. We could check it.
All right, but I do like Badu Jack moving up. I mean, I think he's an all-around good enough fighter the way he can experience a heavier weight. I mean, they must see something. He must have a weight issue if he's moving up. He dropped the belt, and he don't want to stay at 160, so he probably be able to hang around with the weight. But I think he has some touch-up fights. I think he should have some touch-up fights before he go after the top dogs because Adonis Stevenson, even though he doesn't fight no one, he's still a tough challenge at that weight. Barrera would be a nice fight for him. I like to see Badu Jack up against him, but I think he should take his time and do it a little better than just jumping straight in there. For the last caller calling this, doing a comparison between James DeGale. That was a bad comparison because James DeGale, last time I checked, is one of the top super middleweights in the world right now. So he can't say what he had issues against him and say what Adonis Stevenson will be able to do because Adonis Stevenson don't fight like James DeGale. So, I mean, pretty much on that take, I like it and stuff like that.
Joshua, let me get to some other callers. Thank you for calling in.
All right.
Jay in Orlando, talk to me.
That was fast. Hey, I didn't hear the beginning of the show, but I'll say this. I'm shocked that he vacated the belt this fast. When you think about it, especially him being a Mayweather fighter, how many times has Mayweather said he's going to give up a belt, and we wait like a whole 90-day period until he gives up the belt? So that's pretty much what I got to say on that. I don't know what your thoughts is.
That is an interesting take on it. I wonder if it has anything to do with sanctioning fees. Maybe it's a quarterly thing, or I don't know. That is interesting, though.
And very quickly, Joshua from New Orleans said that he made all his picks right, but according to our records, he picked DeGale, and that was a draw. So that's still Crow, unfortunately.
Yeah, Joshua, there you go. But he said he called it a draw. Listen, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. And if you're listening to this on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, drop us those 5-star reviews. You already know how they help with the visibility of the show. Courtesy of you, we've been able to grow. We want to continue to do that. 2017 is going to be TBV's year. We're doing everything and more. You see more content coming out. Can't wait for 10 o'clock where we will be directing you to an amazing video that we have done with this New York City, Brooklyn, Barclays Center press conference with Keith One-Time Thurman, who's going to be defending his WBA title versus the WBC champ Danny Swift Garcia, live from the Brooklyn Barclays Center March 4th. You don't want to miss this at 10 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be talking boxing, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I'm your host, Nestor Gibbs. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at, did I forget Scorsese? We went to Scorsese, right?
No, we went to Scorsese. We did.
Cool.
He's good.
Almost thought I dropped off. Almost thought I forgot him. All right, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at NesGTO. And you can find my producer
at Mixed Combat News on Twitter. And if you want to follow my Mixed Martial Arts podcast, it's Mixed Combat Radio. You can go to iTunes, SoundCloud, Patreon, YouTube, etc., and search us there. Enjoy.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll be back 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Later.